back or it's the first time to my channel, my face doesn't normally look like this, and I don't usually have an extra AF intro before my videos, but that can only mean one thing. It's Halloween, friends. So for today's look, I had this idea of doing a warm toned skull face that was both really edgy but also a little bit glamorous. You may be able to notice that I have some gold glitter on my lids, which I really feel like adds that pop of glam to this look. And to be very honest with you, like, I don't typically dive into these creative waters, so this is definitely a very new territory for me, and I was really intimidated going into it, but I'm really excited about the look, and I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy it too. By the way, if you end up recreating this, or even if you're slightly inspired by it, I need to see your recreations, because it will honestly make my day, my week, my month. So please tag me on either Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Just send me some photos. And today's video is also extra exciting because it is actually in collaboration with BIODERMA, which is so cool. I don't even know how many bottles of the Scentsy Bio H2O that I've gone through. This is like one of my all-time favorite makeup removing products, and I've been using it for years. I am going to be using their products not only to prep my skin, but to also take all of the skull makeup off of my face. So without further ado, let me show you how to look spooky. So I'm first starting off by taking my BIODERMA Scentsy Bio H2O. This is basically just a really gentle makeup remover that will cleanse the skin, but it will also soothe it. It's really not irritating whatsoever. I'm just wiping this all over my face to make sure that I don't have any makeup left over from the day before. I want to make sure that I'm starting off with a nice blank canvas. Next, I'm continuing to prep my skin with a moisturizer. This is the BIODERMA Scentsy Bio Rich. This is just a very, very hydrating moisturizer. Once again, it's really great for sensitive skin. This works wonderful underneath makeup, and I do highly recommend applying a really thick layer of moisturizer before going in with your Halloween makeup, or really any makeup in general, just to make everything sit really nicely on the skin. So now it's time to move on to the makeup. I'm starting off with my base. This is my Fenty foundation, and you do want to make sure that with this look you are using more of a medium to full coverage foundation. You want your face to basically just be a blank canvas for everything else that we're going to be applying on top of it. So I'm just blending that into my skin with my beauty blender. And for my concealer today, I'm using my Bare Minerals Serum Concealer, and I'm just applying that only underneath my eyes. I'm not going to bother to highlight with this, and then blending it out with my sponge. Then of course you do want to set your whole entire face with some powder. This is really important because you don't want the eyeshadow that we're going to be applying on the skin to stick to any wet spots. So I'm just taking my Rimmel Stay Matte and just applying that literally everywhere. Now it's time to get into the fun stuff. So I am taking the Anastasia eyeshadow in Ash Brown, which is just a very cool toned eyeshadow. I thought that this would be perfect to mimic a shadow. And on a really, really small little definer brush, I'm just sketching out where I want my cheekbones to be. So I'm literally putting this where my actual hollows of my cheekbones are. I also do recommend using an eyeshadow to do this step, only because it's really easy to sort of wipe away if you do make any mistakes. And as far as where you want to actually apply these lines, you want to start it right at your ear and then almost follow the natural hollow of your cheek, or go a little bit above it, and just create a really slight curve towards the corner of your mouth. Next, it's time to accentuate those frown lines that you get like right in between your brows. So I'm taking the same color on a fluffy brush, and I'm just applying it right at the top of my nose, almost connecting it to the front of my brow, and I'm just blending that upwards. I'm starting off with a lot of product on my brush, but then I'm diffusing it, and I'm really making sure that it's nice and smoky, because you just want to build all these colors up slowly, and that's how you're going to get a really nice diffused and blended look in the end. Now you're going to notice that I'm going to be jumping around my face a bit just because I didn't really have a set plan, so I wasn't very organized, but that's totally okay. I'm just taking a little bit more of that ash brown color, and on a fluffier brush, I'm really defining that line that we created earlier to make it a little bit more intense, because we want to create that depth nice and slowly. So to add a little bit of warmth to the cheekbone, I'm taking Morocco from MAKEUPGEEK, and I'm just applying that right underneath the ash brown. I'm applying it with the smaller blending brush and then blending it out and diffusing it with a larger clean blending brush to make sure that it's nice and smooth. I'm then going in with a deeper, more red shade. This one is from Makeup Forever, and I'm almost applying it in between the ash brown and the Morocco. And this is once again just going to help to create that depth that we're looking for. And again, I'm always going in with a separate blending brush to buff everything out and make sure that it's nice and blended together. For that nose shading, I am mimicking exactly what I did on the cheekbone just to make sure everything looks a little bit more cohesive, and I'm taking Morocco from MAKEUPGEEK and just very, very lightly blending it right at the edge of that shadow that we already created. Now to make it look like the cheekbone is slightly sunken in, you want to create a ton of depth there. So I'm taking some matte black eyeshadow and sort of just tracing it along the top edge of the line that we already created. And I'm using a very small brush to do this so that it's nice and precise. And then I'm going in with a larger flat brush and I'm applying even more black eyeshadow, once again, just to create a little bit of like a thicker line. Now I'm just going back in with a little bit more of that red eyeshadow just to sort of fuse the black and the orangey tones together so it doesn't look disjointed. Now every time you blend, it's always going to look a little bit softer since you're sort of just like wiping away eyeshadow. So it's important to keep on going back in with the black, the red, all the colors to sort of touch everything up as you go along and blend everything to keep it nice and intense. Once again, everything that we do on the cheekbone area, we want to mirror on the brow bone area. So I'm taking the red shade and I'm just applying that very concentrated to create some depth in that area. So to make the temples look like they are hollow, I'm taking ash brown and I'm just applying it in that general area, really diffusing it out with a blending brush. And then I'm going in with sienna, which is a bit more of a warmer and darker brown, and I'm layering that on top while still allowing the ash brown to peek through so that it looks like it's a gradient effect. So you just want to continue this process by applying deeper shades of brown to build up the color, but make sure that every time you apply something darker that you keep it more and more concentrated. Then I'm taking some black eyeshadow and sort of just tapping it right in the hollows of my temples to create that extreme depth. And then I'm going in with the blending brush just to blend it out. You also do want to make sure to sort of blend it into your hairline so that there's not such a stark contrast. Now for the mouth, all you need is a black liquid eyeliner. This one is from Sephora and it's the Fine Line, and this is really nice because it's very precise. So I'm just creating two lines coming from the outer corners of my mouth. You can make this as curvy or as straight as you want. It's really up to you. Now to create the effect of teeth, you just want to create lines going down your lips. I like to start off in the center, and I also made the center line just a little bit longer and gradually made them shorter as I moved outwards. I just found it created a really cool effect to the mouth. Also, don't worry if you can't make these straight, because I actually do prefer them to look a little bit more wiggly and wonky. I feel like it gives the look a bit more of like a creepy vibe, and these lines, believe it or not, actually do last throughout eating. It was tested. Now, because we don't really have any harsh lines on the face, I wanted to make the lines on the mouth a little bit smoky. So I took some of the ash brown eyeshadow on a small blending brush and I just ran it along the lines just to sort of diffuse them a little bit, and it created like a smoky look, which was pretty cool. Now to make the cheekbone pop, I'm going to take a white liquid eyeliner and just sort of line it right above the black line that we already created. And this is going to really make the cheekbone look a little bit more sunken in. And then to finish off that illusion, I'm taking a little bit of that ash brown eyeshadow once again and applying that above the white line. Moving on to the eye look, you could do absolutely anything you want, but I decided to do something dramatic and smoky, so I just prime my lids and then I'm going in with the ash brown eyeshadow once again on a fluffy brush and applying that above my crease. I'm really making sure to concentrate it also on the inner corner of my eye to create like a hollow in that area. I found that it creates a really dramatic effect. And now I'm going in with some black eyeshadow on a smaller blending brush and just sort of blending that right on the outer corner of the eye, creating more of like a V shape. And I'm going back and forth between applying it and then blending out the edges with another blending brush. Then I'm going in to define the black even more with a small little definer brush to really pack it on and to make that black really nice and intense. Now for the lid shade, I was really feeling copper, so I used this Makeup Forever pigment and I'm just applying that all over my lid. I love this color. I really feel like it just pulls in the warm tones that are happening all throughout the face, and I'm just applying that all over my eye with a little bit of Fix Plus and a flat shader brush. Now this is totally optional, but I did want to add a little bit of glitter. This is Urban Decay Midnight Cowboy, and I'm just layering it on top of the Makeup Forever pigment to add a little bit of like, you know, sparkle and sheen, because that never hurts. On my lower lash line, I'm really heavily applying that red Makeup Forever eyeshadow to really make my eyes look slightly irritated. I'm sort of going for that look, so I'm not being shy with this stuff at all. I'm smoking it out quite a bit and bringing it down quite a bit as well. And I'm even taking a red eyeliner. This is Fine Wine from Marc Jacobs into my waterline. Typically, I wouldn't really do this just because it can make your eyes look a little bit irritated, but that's the look that I'm going for. And then I went off camera and applied my brows and lashes. Next, it's time to work on the nose. I used some black gel eyeliner and a very small pointy brush. Now, I don't really know how to explain how I did this. I just looked at some reference photos and tried to recreate it on myself. I sort of feel like it looks a bit like an upside down tooth, but you basically just want to create the shape and then completely fill it in. So now that we are almost done with the look, it's time to do those last minute touches. So I'm just taking a flat shader brush and some of the matte black eyeshadow and really packing that on my temples, and then just buffing around the edges with a fluffy brush to make sure that they're still nice and diffused, because you don't want any harsh lines in this look whatsoever. Now I'm taking the ash brown eyeshadow from Anastasia once again, and I'm just running that along the shading that I already had above the white. I just wanted to blow it out a little bit more to make the effect look a little bit more realistic. I found that it made a huge difference in the end. I also decided to make the inner corners of my eyes look a little bit more hollow, so I'm going in first with a bit of Anastasia Sienna just to first lay down that warm transition shade, and then I'm going in with the matte black to really deepen things up. And this is actually really cool. I feel like it totally changes the way that my eyes look. It almost makes me look a little bit angry, which is definitely very skull-like, so I think it really goes with the look perfectly. So because there aren't really any other harsh lines in the face, I decided to take some of the ash brown eyeshadow and sort of just run it along the nose shape that we created so that it didn't look so harsh and it looked a little bit more diffuse and smoky. And I found that this made the look a little bit more cohesive. I'm also taking some red eyeshadow and I'm popping it right on the front of my brow, and I found that this sort of pulled in the red that was going on underneath my eyes and in the cheekbones, sort of just brought it all around the face. Now, I also decided to highlight my face with my MAC Double Gleam highlighter, so I'm applying that on my cheekbones, my chin, the bridge of my nose, above my brows, as well as on my forehead, just to make those areas really pop and stand out. And then that, my friends, finishes off this skull Halloween tutorial, and here are some clips of me awkwardly posing. So now that the tutorial is finished, it is time to take it all off, which is honestly killing me just a little bit because I just spent literally 3 hours putting it all on my face, but I can't leave this on my face forever. It has to come off at some point, so let's do this. So I'm going to start off by using my BIODERMA makeup wipes. These are the Scentsy Bio H2O Micelle Solution makeup wipes. Okay, so these makeup wipes are actually really great for sensitive skin. You know when sometimes makeup wipes can make your face burn a little bit? These definitely do not do that. They're also really thick. They're probably some of the thickest makeup wipes I have ever used, so they're quite durable. The Scentsy Bio line from BIODERMA, by the way, is actually meant for sensitive skin, so it's great for those of you who, have trouble finding those makeup removers that just work for your skin and don't work against it. To fully remove my mascara, what I like to do is I like to take the Scentsy Bio H2O. This is the makeup removing micelle solution. This is basically like a makeup removing water. When you put it on your skin, it literally almost just feels like water. So it's hard to believe that it's actually removing all of your makeup. But even though it's really gentle, it really is very effective as well. And there is all of my mascara on the cotton pad. I'm gonna go in again with some more of the BIODERMA water and just run it all over my skin. So there you have it, my skin is now clean. 3 hours of work for my skull is now gone. It's like it never even happened. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and learned something new. Do not forget to let me know all of your thoughts down below once again, and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye and happy Halloween.